Hello all, Namaste. I'm Dr. Shweta Kumar and I'm a general practitioner. Uh, First of all, let me please thank everyone for appreciating my previous video, which was on checklist we should follow if your child is following an online class. Uh, so coming to the today's topic, and it's a very common topic, a very common health condition, diabetes. In today's video, I'm going to discuss more about the investigation part. uh, there are a lot of dilemma in the mind of the patients. A lot of people who have been traveling to various places for their diabetic conditions. Some of them have had a family history of diabetes and they're a little worried if they should, what should they check. Sometimes they're on lifestyle modification and they just monitor their blood sugar by themselves, but they might not actually know when the red flags, they're rising. And a lot of time patients do think like, is it important to get investigation done? Why do I need to get my kidney function or heart evaluation done if I'm a diabetes? And some of them might also be having other comorbid conditions, like say your sugar might be not very high, but if you have other comorbidities like high blood pressure, any thyroid disorders, any other form of disease, liver dysfunction, high cholesterol levels, and also in that case it becomes very important to monitor the entire health condition. Now I'll just give a small briefing about diabetes, because once you understand the briefing, you'll know why at all this investigation. You understand the rationale behind getting all the investigations done. Now, as we all know, diabetes is a progressive disorder. It's an endocrinal disorder. In diabetes, once a frank diabetes is there, our our management plan includes how to control your sugars, how to control other blood parameters, and also to detect complications early, and if say a complication has happened, how to treat them, and to improve the quality of life, and make a plan which suits your lifestyle, and it helps you in getting that good glycemic control as well. So most of the time, patient have it in the mind and they drain lot of money and lot of energy just getting a solution for their diabetes. Lot of money spent, they have been visiting to various bigger cities, various doctors. So it's a small suggestion from my side. Once you have been diagnosed of a diabetes, it is very important to stick to your doctor, be it your own general physician, if you're seeing a family physician, or if you're seeing an endocrinologist. It is very important. Treating or managing diabetes is a process, and the process goes over long run. So it's very important, so that your doctor knows about your improvement and you yourself understand, because diabetes involves lot of variation apart from medication, lot of counseling on the food, on the diet, on the exercise, how to keep up your motivation levels high. So there are a lot of things involved. It can also involve multi-speciality at times, like cardiologist, dermatologist, podologist, general surgeons, endocrinologist. So it is basically a team which is required if you are having a diabetes. But the first team, the head of the team is you, patient. So it is so important, like, you understand what is the rationale behind the investigation, so that even if you get your investigations done, it is very important to get few investigation done so that we pick up early. Now coming to a diabetes. So nowadays we see that how a diabetes would have been diagnosed. Nowadays we get a lot of health checks done, random checks are done, GR-based checkings are done in health camp, in family camps, or in your offices. So in that, you might be when finger prick or GRBS has done, they might find out like your blood sugars were above the normal range. Sometimes it could be like you went for some infection to the doctor, and the doctor, like say UTIs and all, frequent abscess, or some other form of fevers, where the doctor would do a blood sugar test for you and it comes up high. Sometimes it could be like you must have been posted for some surgeries or any other condition where you get diagnosed with this. At times it could also be like you had some you had some skin conditions like the skin darkening, or those the skin tags are there, and where the dermatologist might ask you to get a blood test. And at times we see a frank emergency, sudden emergency. They might present with sometime with a very high fever, very dehydrated stage, weakness, comatose, heavily breathing. So and the doctor might tell you that this entire condition was part of your because of your high blood sugars, and you were not aware that you even had a blood sugar. Or you must have been told few years back, like you have little high blood sugar than the above normal, which you can get it done with your lifestyle modification, food changes and all. But over the next 2-3 years, since you did not check it again, and now the blood sugars were really high. So as we go towards the discussion ahead, so I'll basically focus only on the investigations, so that you get the right investigations done on the right time. One is so that we can control your blood sugar. You monitor your own lifestyle changes, which you're putting it is actually helping you or not, or you need to increase it up. And the second thing, third is to detect an early complication, and fourth is we do something, we are able to manage complications well. Now coming to the next part of the section, comorbidities. So often if you're having any comorbidities, so your chances of blood control, losing the blood control might be little higher, or you might not able to achieve a good blood sugar control if you already have other comorbidities, and that increases the chance of complications also, like hypertension, thyroid, any liver abnormality, any kidney disease which was not because of diabetes, from before you were having some kidney problems, obesity, that means excess weight. Another I would really add here is also your alcohol and smoking intake, alcohol intake and smoking. So these are all just increase the pace with which you can lose your blood sugar controls. So what are the tests you need to do? That is very important. One important thing I would like to mention here is any young individual less than 30 years, or say less than 25 years, and definitely if you are less than 20 years and your blood sugars have shown high, please go on the entire set of investigations which your doctor suggests, because we need to rule out type 1 diabetes as well. Now for ruling out type 1 diabetes, or for detecting a type 1 diabetes, your set of investigations might vary what you do on a regular basis. There are many autoimmune tests which might be done, and there are little of a detailed and invasive and a little extensive uh, procedure would be followed, or a little extensive plan would be followed. And just lifestyle modification might not help, because we do see a lot of young children, they have been having progressive weight loss, they have been having high blood sugars, but then they were usually put on a lifestyle changes, but then often they land up into complications. So now what are the investigations which are important to do? Now basically, as a general practitioner, for me this becomes more important, because patient might come up with various modality, various other form of health issues, and most of the time we might see that they are already having diabetes, so we have to treat the condition along with keeping in mind their diabetic conditions. Or it could be that they're in a pre-diabetic stage, so we have to kind of counsel them and give them a proper counseling, so that they don't end up having diabetes. And it's also complication. Sometimes it might be normal, but they have a very strong family history, so in that case also talking on preventive aspects become very very important. And second thing is, we do see that nowadays lot of investigations are available and people do get it done, but still it is not uncommon to see that despite getting the investigations done, many a times we miss the vital readings, like a pre-diabetic stage, where we could have done much to stop you from getting into a frank diabetes. So it is very important, whenever you get any investigation done, or if you're self monitoring yourself, you should discuss with your doctor, so that it might be that you're getting a lot of tests done, but those tests were not appropriate to completely analyze your disease condition. So in any part of health disease, I think first important part is your GP consultation, or with your doctor's consultation. Now as you meet the doctors, it might start with your own complaints, what health issues you have been suffering, and uh, over a period of time. It could be like a generalized body ache, excess hunger, or some changes in your urine, some changes in your bowel, skin changes, generalized fatigue, and few things the doctor might elicit by asking from you. The doctor might ask you some direct relevant questions. Have you been feeling some sensation changes, or have you been feeling like you, while reading, your eye strains out, or there has been some weight loss or weight increase? So there are some very direct questions about your smoking, about your alcohol. So there are few specific questions which the doctor might ask you. And the next is getting your past history. In the past, you had any health issues, or you should go, if you had any health condition in the past, you had any surgeries, or you were put on any medication, or something you have been treating very frequently, like say frequent throat infections, frequent urinary infections, frequent loose motion, frequent abdominal infection, any infection, frequent body pains. So if these conditions had been there, so always carry your reports, the previous treatment file. It helps a lot, in the present consultation, it will help a lot. Then apart from that, uh, your vaccination status. Then most important is your family's history. If your family, anyone, if there's any history of any diabetes, hypertension, any form of cancers, any form of depressions. So it's very important to take a family history, and you should know about your family history as well, any disease conditions in your family, because many conditions are genetically acquired as well. And sometimes the entire family might follow the same type of lifestyle, the same type of food habits, so they still might become very prone to it. Just that the presentation might appear early in some family member and later in the another family member. Now the third is the doctor would go on a entire physical examination, coming from your head to toe, your organs, your eyes, your skin, your chest, your abdomen, your genitalia, and especially the foot conditions and all. So doing a general examination would also give us a good pretty idea about your health condition. Sometimes there could be just darkening of the skin which you would have not noticed, but that could be a sign of insulin resistance, which could later be developed in you. That might be a sign that you are on a verge of developing diabetes. Now, and one thing I always suggest is, whenever you visit your doctor, please keep a list of medicines you have already been taking. If you have been already prescribed any medicines, any regular medicine, even if supplements, any alternate form of medications. If you have a charting for yourself, like you have randomly checked your blood sugar, you have randomly checked your blood pressures, you have done some investigation, to carry it, because the consultation might be just at the present time, but when you carry those things, it gives us an entire clear picture of what was happening in past 1 year, 2 year, or say 6 month time. So it becomes very very easy, it saves the time, and you can, the consultation automatically becomes more informative. Now coming to the initial test which we would do, or any doctor would go for the testing, and this I'll try to simplify the test so that you understand why these tests are done, and you don't tend to ignore this test when, whenever you get such tests done. Or per se you are unable to meet your doctor for a long time, and you don't know what the test you should be doing. So I'll just give a small, I'll just host a small discussion, and I hope it should be useful to you. Now, coming to, once we have done a general examination and history taking, we come to a conclusion where then we can understand now what investigations we should do for further. One is to assess your present organ status, what is your present health status, and also to get key if there was some health status in the past, so where you in the line you are in terms of control. And later is to see if any complications, to detect early complications, and if already some complications have occurred already, so then how to detect, like what is the extension, what should be our next plan of management. Is it like, so the first investigations, and which is commonly we all know, you must be doing nowadays, glucometers are available, people are doing at home also, the blood test which you do. Now there is a difference between your GRBS which you do is a good thing. You have a glucometer, you check your blood sugars at home. It is good for you to manage your blood sugar. You yourself know your blood sugars are high, so you yourself can look into your diet, what you had, your physical activity, what should be increased. Second, if someone is on insulin and all, it will help them, like once your blood sugars are dropping down. So it is good in terms to have to know about your own health condition. And if you keep a charting, it helps the doctor as well to see that how you have been controlling and the days your blood sugar was high. So we can get into little discussion that why was it high that day. Was it an infection, was it your diet, or fasting, or anything else? But generally in glucometer test, we take a drop of blood, and it is generally a, it might not be a very sensitive. So when we are doing, you meet your doctor. So I suggest there are few things, tests which we would want to see. One is your fasting blood sugar. Fasting blood sugar with overnight fasting of around 8 hours. Then after you give your fasting blood sugar, postprandial blood sugar, which is 1.5 to 2 hours after you had your breakfast. Then HbA1c. Now see, many times we see people do fasting blood sugar, postprandial blood sugar. It is easy to interpret on the terms of the patient, but HbA1c might not be understood by all the people. So if you're only doing an HbA1c, or you are just doing a fasting or a postprandial blood sugar, we might not get an clarity about how was your blood sugar control for a long time. So HbA1c helps us know what was your blood sugar control, how was sugar variation, how was the spike in your blood sugar for past 3 months time. So it gives us a good idea also. It gives you an insight that no, though you were doing a lifestyle modification, you assume like your diet was good, your exercise was good, but still somehow that was not enough to control your blood sugar. So fasting blood sugar, postprandial blood sugar, HbA1c, urine microalbumin, this is very very important to detect early renal damage, because we can do so much. We can keep you on medication, so many, we can early intervene to prevent any further renal damage. And the third is, now the doctor might also go for a few other investigation like insulin levels, C-peptide levels, to look at your insulin levels in the body. Now coming to second is your complete hemogram. Now long-term diabetes, there might be other comorbidity conditions also. So CBC helps us know about your blood sugar, about your hemoglobin levels. Second is lipid profile. Now coming to lipid profile, always get the entire profile done. Total cholesterol helps us just know about the level of your cholesterol, but that might not help us know about the individual component, based on which helps us kind of plan to judge what is at all is increasing your cholesterol levels. So the entire profile should include your total, your triglycerides, LDL, VLDL, other lipoproteins, then your HDL, which is the good cholesterol. So this helps us know what at all is the reason for your dyslipidemia. The second is your liver function test, SGOT, SGPT, bilirubin, alkaline phosphatase. Sometimes there could be an underlying liver abnormality or pancreas abnormality because of which your blood sugars are varying. So we will be able to pick that up. Apart from that, coming to kidney function test. Now you see, it is not uncommon to see a lot of diabetes patient, they might end up having dialysis or a kidney, chronic kidney conditions. Many of the time it was not picked up early because of the investigation specific for kidney function was not done quite early. So it was done only once they started developing urinary problems, the swelling in the body, low hemoglobin levels. So then it was done. So kidney function should include an entire kidney function profile. So your serum creatinine, uric acid, serum electrolytes are very important: sodium, potassium, chloride, calcium levels. Apart from that, urea, BUN. So these all gives us a good insight into your kidney function as well. Now coming to the imaging part. So first and foremost is the ECG. ECG definitely should be done, and I suggest with if you have a comorbidity like hypertension, already a heart disease and all, or any congenital heart issues and all, in that case ECG is such an easy investigation to do. One should not miss an ECG. So ECG is basically done to see if there has already a heart condition or an heart damage or an heart injury already, if it has occurred. But sometimes ECG might not give us a clarity picture. Say you had a heart conditions, but it clinically did not cause any damage to your heart musculature or the heart functionality. In that case, we might not be able to pick up even if the process is going on. So repeat ECGs might also be needed in that case. And the second thing, we might go and opt for echo. So echo is to look into your heart, within the heart. How is your valves functioning? What is the pressure of the blood? Is there any backflow? How is your the thickness of the heart muscles? In echo, one might also be able to predict about the thickening of the walls, of the vessels, the wall of the vessels which supply blood to your heart. So that we might early be able to predict if we are suspecting any blockage and all. Second is the doc. We might also go on TMT. TMT is basically is a stress test. So we try to induce an environment where we ask you to run. You are asked to run on a treadmill. Slowly the effort tolerance is increased, and we just see how is your heart responding now. If there are any ECG variations or your blood pressures are rising, and at resting, how do you come back? How does your heart cope up with the entire stress thing? So that also gives us a very good idea about the health of your heart. There's always a confusion, should I go for echo or TMT? I think depending on your history, sometimes it might be important to do both of them, echo as well as an ENT. Say sometime in a health check you got an echo done, but maybe the more relevant test would be an TMT rather than an echo. So it is important to consult, with a doctor before you go on doing any form of health checks. Other form of tests could also be like Holter. Now, based on echo, ECG, and all this report, the doctor might also, if they have a strong suspicion, then we might also go for an angio. Nowadays, CT angios are also available. Now, other than this, if in diabetes, in which it has been a health, quite for a long time, it was uncontrolled, and now they are presenting with food changes, the skin changes in the food, sensation changes, ulcers are there, new now the skin changes and the food symptoms are coming up. In that case, one would also go for a Doppler test to look for the peripheral arteries. The doctor might also do some tests for your sensation to look at the nerves. Now, apart from that, there are a few other tests which might be done as a part of your health status. Now, there are certain diabetes medications which might reduce absorption of vitamin B12. Now, in some condition, you might also need a good source of good iron levels, good vitamin D levels to boost up your immunity. It also boosts up the other organ function. So vitamin D, iron levels. So we might also go ahead and check your vitamin D, B12, calcium levels, iron levels, so that we supplement them with us, and then we are kind of able to supplement whatever losses are happening because of diabetes by supplementing such vitamins. I also suggest ki just don't go on a long term calcium, vitamin D, B12 intake, without a prescription or without getting the test done. Even if you get your vitamin D and B12 test, then we need to monitor the increase as well. That is very important because it is not uncommon to see nowadays, uncommon to see the toxicity levels also. And the last part is sometimes through the general examination, when we go through, there might be a high suspicion of some other forms of infectious disease. So sometimes basically in peripheral setups or many setups, one might also, initial evaluation might also include your tuberculosis, various to HIV, various other form of cancers. So these are basically the part of the test in the diabetes we might do. Now, based on such reports, we have our plan comes up to now what should be your medications, if at all we need to put you on medications. What should be the type of medicines we need to start with. Certain medications we cannot give if you already have a renal condition or a liver condition. So likewise, variation, medicines had to be adjusted to plan if we have to put you on insulin. Sometimes putting on early insulin is a good. It is quite good to put you on early insulin where it is needed, because it preserves a lot of your pancreatic function, and long term the results are quite good. The second is to advise you on your lifestyle modification. What kind of diet you should take. Is it you need to go on a very specific diet, like suppose someone has developed kidney disease, they have to go on those on a low potassium diet, that it does not include your potassium levels. Sometimes if your cholesterol levels are very high, so then accordingly the diet is also planned and managed. So it might vary, but most of the time there could be a general diet plan for all, but for some it could be specific. So with the end of the test, we will be able to know what specific diet you need to put on, then what kind of physical activity you can go for, or what should be the intensity of the physical activity, then what else you should need to do if to relieve your stress levels, or what can we do to make you stick to your management plan. The second is we are able to decide if this, if how is the you're doing good, you're doing average, or somewhat the conditions are progressively. If you're doing good, that's a very good sign, because then we can continue with the same thing. If somehow it's been average, we can just upgrade our treatment plan, and through consultation we can come to know like where is something we are missing, and we can include. But if we are seeing some form of complications, then we can, the early referrals are important. Early referral to an endocrinologist, early referral to your maybe a nephrologist, cardiologist, or a podologist who look after the leg, or the general surgeon if the wound is already there in the legs. So, and there has to be a teamwork. We have to work in a teamwork in diabetes. So I think now, after seeing my video, I think you will get some clarity on why it is important to go on a diabetes investigation, basically for treatment, basically to pick up its complication is eyes, kidney, nerves, heart. So I think now you will be able to understand this, and I request all to, if you have been diagnosed with a diabetes or a pre-diabetic condition, you have a strong family history, please get yourself evaluated well, understand well about the changes you need to bring in, and stick to your medication, do a proper investigation and follow up. And follow up can vary from 3 months to 6 months or an year's time. And wish you all a very good health, and I hope you all stay fit and healthy. Thank you so much.